Well, the COVID-19 pandemic has dealt a major blow to the livelihoods of many, and the well-being of workers in the arts industry is our focus today. Its latest casualty is the Athol Fugard Theatre in Cape Town, in fact, which is closing down after 10 years. The Market Theatre in Johannesburg has managed to survive as it tries to grapple with the new normal. Let's take you live now to my co-anchor, Ayanda Nyathi, who is, in fact, at the Market Theatre for us this morning. And Ayanda, you and I have been discussing, the importance of the arts sector, not only as a contributor to the economy, but particularly through this year of a lockdown.
Absolutely. The type of contribution that the arts make cannot be overstated because of what people sometimes consider the soft values that they add. Arts having an ability, I beg your pardon, to carry people through this pandemic in ways through which many other ways of coping simply can't. And that's why it's incredibly important that we be at the Market Theatre for you this morning to get you an idea of what it takes to keep a place like this running in the midst of a global health crisis. For that purpose, let me bring in James Ngcobo, who is the artistic director here at the Market Theatre, joining us now live. Good morning to you, sir. In the midst of this pandemic, in the midst of the many challenges, it's great to see places like the Market Theatre still standing, but of course it hasn't been without its challenges.
Yeah, it has been a very difficult, and in fact from when it started last year. But what was quite exciting, we had a commitment as the Market Theatre that we could either choose to wallow in this calamity that the world is facing, or find these windows where we stay in touch with our constituency, which is our patronage. And the second we took that decision, we were very clear that we will carry on curating and programming works. Sometimes works come in a hybrid nature because audiences can come see the work in the theatre, but at the same time the work is shot for the online space. And at the moment, since we've been going through this level 3, we're the only theatre at the moment open in South Africa. We've been running plays from December, and we've got 2 productions that are on. We've got a production in rehearsal, and what is amazing is that audiences are coming. We've made the theatre safe, and people just come. Theatre has always been a ticket to escapism. When times are tough, people just go to the theatre and just switch off for an hour and a half. And we have, as the Market Theatre, have constantly challenged ourselves to give content to audiences that is in sync with what is going on in the world.
Absolutely. I can't help but notice symbolically where we are to the National Arts Council, which is, has been at the center of many headlines, for better or for worse, over the past few weeks. It's literally a stone throw away from the Market Theatre. Let me just get your thoughts on what's been taking place there, not only as the artistic director of this masterpiece, which is the Market Theatre, but also as a person who's been in the arts yourselves for years.
Yeah, this is just a very difficult industry, and we've been witnessing this, as you rightly put it, is right next door to us, and I keep saying to my colleagues, this is the worst time to be a young person who has just graduated and come into this maze that this industry in, and to add on top of that the stuff that has been going on around the issues of funding and what happened in it. And I just am so anxious to see how it all unfolds, because there has to be a solution that has to be found that means that those companies that applied for that funding, that some companies that even started rehearsals, those companies will be given these monies in such a difficult time and be able to do the works that they were planning to do. And I really, really hope that we are going to see an end of this, and it's going to be an end that will yield results for the sector. Because our sector is hemorrhaging in a very terrible way. You see theatres are closing around the country, and when you say uncertainty when it comes to the arts, it's almost euphemistic. It's very difficult, and so all the agents that have been put out there by the department to disperse funding to producers and companies that are wanting to make works. I really hope that they fix. It has to be fixed. There is no other option. It has to be fixed.
Very quickly, where do we begin to do that? I mean, I've just spoken to the artists themselves. They've waxed lyrical really about how deep the problems run. You might have heard allegations against the NAC itself being corrupt to the core. If you were to be completely in charge of managing the situation, where do you begin?
I mean, with a sense of an openness really around who applied, at what time, what were they promised, why have they not received the funding that was promised to them, and to get a sense also that the people that are running NAC, there has to be an openness with the sector and not the hoarding of the information, a complete honest, because we are stakeholders that are working in the same sector. There has to be a way that there is clarity of, I mean, including the market. We all go knocking on doors looking for funding. So I absolutely, every time we stand outside here, my heart just is gutted to see what is happening there, because it's not something that I'm removed from, and I absolutely understand it. We get a grant that keeps us going here, but we have to fundraise for productions. And when I say to you the theatre is open, is because we went knocking on doors to find the money that is able to produce the content that is on stage.
I'm out of time. At the risk of being in trouble, 10 seconds, what can we watch at the Market Theatre?
We've got a production called Passover by Antoinette Nwandu. We've got Vusiknene, starring in a piece by Zexim Dar called The Mother of All Eating, directed by Dominic Gumede.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. James Ngcobo, the artistic director here at the Market Theatre, really painting a picture for us that sadly is becoming a bit darker around the country. We know the Athol Fugard Theatre has closed down in Cape Town. The Market Theatre trying its best not to follow that fate. Michelle?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, we'll be speaking to David Kramer, about the closing of the Athol Fugard Theatre in Cape Town. It's a sad situation indeed. Thanks very much for that. Ayanda Nyathi, my co-anchor, is tracking that story for us this morning.